Hey guys, hope you're having an awesome day. I am heading over to the Little Tennessee Greenway to walk. I'm gonna walk 4 miles and hopefully not pass out and die. Just figured I would do some vlogging today. I want to get into the habit of doing that as I'm going about my day and just see, where it leads me. Coming up to a stop sign here. I'm probably going to do like a lot of just random clips because I don't know. I really haven't figured out what this channel is going to be about completely. Sorry about the audio right now. I'm just using my iPhone for this part in the car. But yeah, I don't know. Don't really know where I want to go exactly with this channel. I did mention in my first video that I wanted to gear it towards an audience of people like me, my age, pushing 50, but want to be creative and get into the YouTube game and just see what we can do and what we can upload and the content that we can create. And I know we all have full-time jobs, may have kids at home, we're getting pulled at from many different directions, but we just have to find the time to create. And for me, this is going to be part of it. I'm going to try to do some vlogging stuff, even though I've never done that before. All right, sun's a little bright out here, so I threw on my shades. Yeah, so I'm probably about 5 minutes or so out from the Greenway. The next clip that you see will probably be me trying to breathe and sweating profusely. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. So yeah, almost done. Whew. Look at that sky back there. I know it just went really dark, but that Carolina sky. Yeah, can't beat that. Hey, look at that sun behind me. Get sun for me? Yeah, probably not. All right, if I'm not dead in about 30 more minutes, I'll hop back on there. Peace. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at. I'm thinking I better hurry because the sky is about to open up. Okay, now that I can somewhat breathe, the reason I wanted to do this video today was just to show you how I edit photos. There's two apps that I use 99.99999% of the time. Those are Lightroom and Retouch. The Retouch app is a great app for just getting rid of things in the photo, cleaning up a little bit, all that good stuff. So I'm actually going to go home, maybe get a shower first, change clothes, and then we'll jump into the iPhone, into the apps, and go from there. See ya. I am back home. Got a shower, got changed, all that good stuff. I'm not sweating and breathing hard and trying not to die. I want to show you how I edit my photos on my phone. There are two apps that I use. Retouch, which I think you can pick up on the App Store for like $1.99, and then Lightroom, of course, which is free. All right, so let's jump into the iPhone and get this going. All right, so I start off first with Retouch. What I'm going to edit today is a tattoo that my oldest just recently got on her arm. And about 12 years ago, my dad passed away, but she always called him her little butterfly. So she got an awesome tattoo, my little butterfly. So we're in Retouch. I'm going to go into albums, scroll. All right, here's the original picture. Now, this is straight out of the camera. I took this with my Canon SL3. And I can immediately see things already that I don't like on here and that I want to correct and get rid of before we even go into Lightroom for the color correction. So on the right hand side there, my little butterfly, you can see the white marks, and yes, that is bird poop. We keep it real here on Christopher Martin YouTube channel. Alright, so I'm going to click on object removal. I want to do the lasso because that allows me to define exactly what I want to take out. So when I hold down on the screen and start moving, I see my line, and I just outline exactly what I want to remove. There, it turns into a green blob. I hit go, and boom, it's gone. I have the table there. I also see, if I zoom in, I see a little white spot down there I want to take out. I like the color of the deck underneath the table, which is really cool, but I don't like that right there. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Just carefully kind of draw around that. Oh, missed a little bit there, didn't I? That one didn't look as good. So when you have just a small area like that, you can actually just go to, if we go back in the menu, go to object, or quick repair, I'm sorry, and then blemish remover, click on something. Sometimes it takes a couple clicks. There we go. It kind of matches that in. So when you zoom back to normal size, you can't really tell that was there. And the other thing I see are these two white things here on the deck. I'm going to go back to object removal, do the lasso again on these two. Draw around that. I want to hit go. That removes that spot there. Go back here, do the same thing with the lasso. I'm going to redo that one. I should have started at the other thing, but we're just going to go ahead and circle that whole deal. Yeah, I missed a little spot there. Okay, that looks pretty good. So when you zoom back out, so we're getting there with what I want to take out. There was more on here than I thought that I needed to remove. So we'll just go ahead and circle these. Boink, gone. Get rid of this little mess here. I don't know what that is there. Hit go. I see just a little red spot there from the deck by the table. I'm going to go to quick repair, blemish remover, and just tap on that. See if I can get that to the black to match the table. Man, it's not really wanting to cooperate. That actually doesn't look that bad though. So I've gotten rid of the blemishes that I want to get rid of on the photo. Up here, just hit the export button. Now usually just, you can save a copy, save as a copy, or you can just modify the original. Most times I just modify the original. It'll ask for your permission to do that. Hit modify. Alright, tells you it's been successfully saved. So that's going to be in your camera roll. Alright, so now I want to go into Lightroom. After I've made the changes and retouch, I want to import that picture from my camera roll. Alright, so we pull that into Lightroom. Now sometimes in Lightroom, whoop. Now sometimes I'll do the auto feature first. Not a lot of the times, but occasionally I'll do that and just see what it looks like at first. More often than not, I just go in, start with light. And we have all the sliders here: exposure, contrast, highlight, shadows, whites, blacks. Now the curve, I haven't really messed around with that too much. I've seen a lot of guys that use that to edit their photos in the lighting, but I still need to learn some of that before I even try to explain how that works and how to do that part. So exposure, bring that down just a hair. Just if you slide them around, you can see what the changes are. And a lot of times exposure, I don't want it too dark, but I don't want it, so it doesn't need to be washed out at all. So contrast, bring that down. Highlights, I'll bring, and a lot of times it's just, a lot of times I don't have a clue what I'm doing, so I just slide until it looks good. If I take out too much, if I go way down the highlights, you can see your arm doesn't look real at all. It looks kind of weird. So the highlights, I'm going to brighten that up a little bit. Shadows, bring down a little bit. Now the whites, you can actually hold down on a little circle on the slider, hold down on the picture at the same time, and then if you just move the slider, I usually go to right when I start seeing color come in there, and then I let off. That's how I usually set my whites. Black, same thing. When you start seeing stuff coming into the picture, right there, we'll go with the blacks. Didn't really move it that much. Sometimes I'll eyeball it. Actually, I think I do like that a little darker. Then bring them down too much. -3 it looks like. Alright, so that's my exposure, highlights, contrast, all that good stuff. Next, go over to color. Now this one, It just depends on the picture, whether you want to go warm or cool. Like if you go too cool, the table, everything, all the blues just start looking really strange. So I'm probably just going to kind of leave that. And a little bit warmer looks pretty good. We'll go a little warmer with that. Tint, vibrant, sometimes I'll just bump that up a little bit. Saturation, I should take out a little bit. You don't want to oversaturate because then it looks really, really weird. So I'll pull that out a little bit. Now, cool thing about Lightroom and the color, you can click on the color wheel over here and adjust each individual color. Now what I'll do, because sometimes I have no idea what colors are actually in the photo, I'll just go to luminance, swipe back and forth. If I see changes, I know that color's in there. You can see a little bit on the arm there changing, but I think I'm just going to leave that as it is. Got the oranges here, definitely on our arm, probably with the skin tones. Move that around a little bit, put saturation in it. Can't tell if I like that. Oh, also at any time you can press and hold on the picture and it shows you the original. Then you let off and you can see your changes, which is kind of neat. It's kind of neat to see that and see where you've progressed on a certain picture. Probably not going to mess with that too much more. Yellows. No yellow in there, I don't believe. We'll go to greens. Nothing in the greens. Now blues, we obviously have some blues, but it's going to be the darker blue here. Alright. Excuse me. Alright, so I'm going to adjust some blue. Make those butterflies pop a little bit. I'm going to actually add some saturation into that. Tone down the luminance some, give it a darker blue color. I don't think there's really any pink or reddish in there. Alright. So if you just tap on the picture once, it takes away all the controls so you can kind of see the picture. I'm not sure if I'm liking that too much yet. So after you've messed around with the color some, go into effects, you have texture, add some texture to the photo, which I usually don't mess with that much at all. We've got clarity, kind of just makes it real crisp. Dehaze you gotta be careful with. If you go too far, it's gonna darken and really mess up the aspects of the photo. It's kind of strange. If you go too far this way, it's way blown out. So I usually bring that down a little bit. Now I always like to vignette some. You can see the extremes. You got the black, the white. But I usually just put just a little bit on there. Don't really mess with the feather and stuff most of the time. Kind of leave it as it is. If you go to the next tab over is detail, where you can sharpen a little bit. I'll do a little bit of sharpening. Now I always put in some noise reduction, color noise reduction, just to kind of smooths the picture a little bit. Optics, you can do enable lens correction. Doesn't really make a change on it there. Now I'm kind of happy with this, except for probably the skin tones. Now, I don't know if it's just too much white. Let's take out some of the whites possibly. Drop the blacks a little bit more. Contrast looks pretty good. Highlights, not too bad. And like I said before, sometimes it's just a matter of just playing with the slider, seeing what looks good. I'm not real technical as far as colors and things like that. I can't just like, oh, this needs to, the shadows need to drop out, or the highlights need to do this or that. I'm just not that kind of person yet. I'm still learning all this. But this is kind of what works for me and how I edit photos. So if I hold down, there's a before and there's the after. And I actually will probably work with this some more, maybe kind of touch it up. May take it back into retouch, work on the skin a little bit. But overall, it looks, to me, it just looks a lot better. Got a little more color in the butterflies, the table looks better. So that's it for me. Hope you got something out of this tutorial. It's the first one I've done, so I'm sure it was kind of crazy. When I go back and watch this, I'm probably going to cringe a lot. But hopefully you'll get something out of it and put some of this stuff into use. Work on your pictures, make better photos. And we'll see you later.